All right, welcome everyone into season 2, episode 5 of the Hooley Brothers podcast, coming at you on a Wednesday night live, broadcasting live during Game 4 of the World Series. We'll talk about the first few games to lead things off here. Mike, how you doing tonight?
Not bad at all. Wish I had my
So,
Phillies hat, but it's back in Malden, and also my Astros hat. I could literally play both sides.
you could, yeah, like classic Mac, right? That
Yeah.
way, either way, you come out on top. Exactly. But yeah, so again, we're here. We have again Game 4 going on right now. No score yet, if I'm not mistaken.
In the run first. Single by Alvarez, but just good pitching outside of that. So
yeah. Interesting matchup tonight and we can kind of get into the whole lead up to everything as far as how we got here with the rain out and everything. But Philly's kind of going back to the top, but Astros staying deep, going with their fourth guy with Javier here. So two kind of different long-term strategies, if you will, from these teams as far as how they're lining up their pitching. I know Astros are a bit deeper anyway, so but yeah, we can kind of get into that. We'll start off with
I think maybe not after last night, but we can hop back to game 1.
I meant going tell you what, they go 4 deep. I think there's more faith in maybe not now with McCullers. Which I didn't understand that over Javier anyway, but versus I guess how the Phillies feel about Syndergaard. But yeah, we'll kind of go in chronological order here. Again, obviously we'll also jump out with any reactions here live in game 4. But we'll start with game 1 as we're kind of seeing some flashbacks here. Good timing on the program here, but Astros jumped out early. Again, I was at a Halloween party, so I had it on my phone. That's always the tough part about the World Series. It always falls during Halloween. You got your plans going on. Sometimes you end up at a bar with the TV. Sometimes you don't. But the famous quote from Kyle Tucker saying like, "Oh yeah, we'd like to sweep them, but maybe it'll take a few games." I don't think that's. I mean, not saying he doesn't want to win, but I think this man's just done playing baseball right now.
I mean, it's a long season, 162 games. He got lucky with some back-to-back sweeps. He just wanted to keep the sweeps up, get another ring, and just go home. But if the path of least resistance now we're losing next 2,
that's true too, honestly.
But I guess they go back to Houston regardless.
But yeah, he comes out hot in game 1, hits 2 home runs off the bat here to put the Astros up 5-0. That's when I looked at my phone and I'm like, well, I guess I don't need to be streaming this the whole night. So I get back to 5-3. I'm like, all right, interesting. And then, of course, before we know it, it's 5-5. So not only did Kyle Tucker start strong, but so did World Series Justin Verlander before he became World Series Justin Verlander, who I guess you'd rather have that rep than the whole playoff Kershaw rep that he has. But another struggle for him yet to win a game as a pitcher win in the World Series. I think his teams have only won 1 game overall. But yeah, I mean, it looks like they were in a good spot. You have your ace on the mound. You're 5-0 at home. Looks like you're going to cruise to a game 1 victory. And then all of a sudden, wheels kind of come off of Verlander. The Phillies get back in it.
Yeah, he's not been as dominant this year. I think he kind of grinded through his Yankee start. We all know what happened in the opener against Seattle. Took the massive comeback for him to win. So I guess maybe that's why they played into him, gave him an extra day rest for game 5 and how they did the rotation. That's one way to think about it. But yeah, like I said, I was kind of doing my own thing. I saw it was 5-0, and I knew I was going to go to a place with the TV. So I'm like, okay, probably don't need to like you said, keep the stream up. So I was kind of catch the rest of the game there. By the time I got there, it was 5-5. I mean, of course, I was getting the updates on the phone. But yeah, that was a crazy quick answer, led by I think Real Muto had a big double, and then the game ended up going to extras, and he was able to push them across as the clock struck midnight.
Yeah, and really the Kyle Tucker and all of this. We're not talking about this Nick Castellanos, he's just started, man. He I think he gets a little bored during the regular season. He's just getting started with baseball right now. I think there's been some knocks on his defense, but he made a great play last night too. But really, pretty much the exact same play that kind of saved him in game 1, because if you remember, Altuve got on base in the 9th, stole second. It was bang play. Kind of could have seen it going either way, but it was called a steal on the field, so that's what stood. And then a fly ball to right. And if he doesn't get that, we're talking again walk-off win for the Astros here. So huge play by Castellanos to even extend the game, get it to extras, and like you mentioned, Riyadi throwing Oppo Field to put one in the seats, and also Oppo just made me think of Taco, which again, shout out Kyle Schwarber for getting everyone a free taco.
Yeah. I think I saw in the history like there's like when they've done the promotion, the guy that steals the taco 80% of the time wins the World Series.
Oh, his team.
Yeah. Speaking of former,
is this dating?
Man just took one on the bicep.
Oh yeah, Vasquez, and now we got runners in the corners with for the Astros at the top of the second here with Nola on the mound.
Yeah.
Does that dating
Nola with the leadoff double?
Was that dating back? I thought. Now I'm getting confused because I was thinking, who was the first one? Was it Ellsbury or was it Royce Clayton? I always forget.
Kobe Bellsbury.
It was. That's what I remember. Our cousin Gerald said that before. I had Royce Clayton in my head.
I think they did it in 07, 08.
Okay.
Did it until like 2012. Randomly did it then because like Angel Pecan did it, and then they've done it every year since 2015.
Okay.
So
they didn't do it 2013 either. I thought that was like. Maybe I'm just thinking of all the Red Sox pinch runners and the runs because I had Royce Clayton in my head. Then I had Quentin Berry for the 13 team.
Yeah, Mookie did it.
Yeah. But going back to the game again, like I said, a huge play by Castellanos, and then Realmuto going opposite field, and then it got real tricky in the bottom of the 10th, if you remember, with Diaz too. They had runners on base. Yeah, they had runners on base, and I actually didn't know what that. I don't think I ever really knew what that rule was because I think I assumed if you did that, it was a strike, but it was still a ball because it's like okay, we didn't lean into the zone, but you clearly didn't make any sort of effort to get out of the way, and that obviously changed everything because again, then the bases would have been loaded at that point if he got on. So,
and I think he was pinch hitting for Mancini, which I was pissed.
Yeah, I didn't quite.
No one really likes the Astros. I'm starting to be like, okay, it's been 5 years. They haven't won since. Like, I'm less tired of them with like the Correa, basically Correa gone and Cole out of there. Yeah. But I was just like, man, if Mancini can have a walk off right now, that'd be so cool. And then they put in Diaz, who's wearing 16. That was his number in Baltimore.
Oh yeah.
I was like a little drunk at this point too. So like I saw Mancini on deck and I saw 16 up. I'm like, didn't he lean into that? Then I saw Diaz. And I'm like, what the heck's going on right now?
Yeah, and it's almost like a big middle finger to everyone else, like their embarrassment of riches. Like, kill. So how many people kill for Trey Mancini, and you're just like pinch hitting for him? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was huge because again, I was kind of, obviously rooting for the Phillies, and this dramatic comeback, and I'm listening to it on the drive home, and just kind of sweating this one out because I'm like, geez, like they really might blow this thing, and then you hear that he gets hit, and then great call by the ump. Was it game 2? Was it game 1 or game 2? I can't remember where the ump had the perfect game.
I was gonna say I don't think either of us got to watch game 2. We can kind of like put that really.
Yeah, it's just one. What else do you need to?
That was the Framber Valdez clinic. So
like masterclass,
yeah. The 2 stories were Framber, and then the perfect game by the umpire. That's kind of game 2. That
you got to clap it up,
Like that is just respect the Blue Joe West and a tear in his eye tonight.
What was the conspiracy theory going on earlier in the week that like they basically just had like someone in his ear when they had the computer going?
Yeah.
Being like, see, this is what happens when you have a computer. No. But I can't remember the gentleman's name, but shout out to him. Because would it be in 5-2 final?
5-2.
Yeah. So Wheeler didn't have his stuff that game, which again sucks if you're a Philly fan, but again, it's tough at that point. And again, obviously we know what happened last night, but I think leaving Houston, it's tough to kind of be like, oh, like you kind of lose the game. It's tough to be optimistic, but at the end of the day, you did go down there hoping to split. You did. And now you can theoretically not have to go back to Houston, even before we knew what happened last night. It's like you can, if you take care of business at home, you use your home field back. So I think that was kind of a good spot for them. And I think the only thing that got ruined. Oh, give a name.
Pat Hoberg.
Pat Hoberg. Wait, was it Pat what?
Hoberg. H-O.
Oh, okay. Almost like Fred Hoiberg, but without a name.
Not the Hoyd.
So the only thing that kind of got ruined was my. In some ways it got improved. I was eyeing a potential game 7 on Saturday night, and everything got shifted back. Only good thing that freed up though is like I was gonna watch some maybe we were planning on watching some Halloween movies on Monday. I was gonna maybe have to go with the computer, but second that didn't happen. And we'll get to the Monday Night Disaster, which I had no problem missing, especially in hindsight. So I just got to focus on the movies. And now we have 3 games in the middle of the week here. I do have some plans Friday, so that does get moved. But
gonna have to pause real quick.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, the games got shifted a little. So again, no game on Monday night. Game 3 last night in Philly, and it was Philly all the way. The crowd was bumping. Again, haven't had a World Series game there since 2009, and the crowd was ready to go. And right from the get-go, Bryce Harper, first pitch he sees, hits a 2-run bomb into right field, and really never looked back from there. The Phillies hit 5 home runs to win the game 7-0. Really, again, never looked back. And it was a tale of two pitchers, really. I mean, Mr. Rager was awesome. He got through 5 innings, took care of business, handed it to the pen, and they took it the rest of the way. Meanwhile, Mr. McCullers on the other side did not do too well. People think he might have been tipping pitches, but again, give up 5 home runs. And also Dusty kind of just let him sit out there for quite a bit.
I mean, to give him credit, he only gave up 6 hits.
Yeah, that's true. A single and 5 home runs.
Yeah, so
that's a good point, but I mean,
yeah,
sure, that helps the whip, but not so much the ERA.
Yeah, the 14 ERA he's rocking right now. But yeah, I mean, it was home run derby. I mean, definitely he was probably tipping his pitches a little bit, because like Harper pulled aside Bohm before his home run. I think there's definitely they're denying in Houston probably just to help with this confidence. But yeah, it was just an onslaught of taters last night, to say it for a better term, and it continued the series being a game of runs. Because if you look at it, it's 5-0, 6 unanswered for the Phillies win.
Yeah,
5 unanswered to start again, 2 to end game 2, and then 7-0 last night. So in the midst of a Philly 9-0 run, we'll see how this World Series game of runs goes. I think it's scoreless after 2 now.
Yeah, they we got out of a bit of a jam. Then Harper got on base, and it's funny because like when you do these, like I'm like, wait, what did happen after Harper got on base? I don't even know. But
I looked up and there was like a stolen base and a strikeout. But
he did. Yeah, he stole second. Altuve tried slapping the tag down, didn't get there. But yeah, that's true though, right? You're right. My game of runs. Like you said, he gave that word of advice to Bohm and hits the homer there. Just again, 5 home runs. What else can you say? 5 different guys, 2 getting it done. See a great effort from the Phillies, the Fightins coming out with that game 3 win. I love that guy. Sad. But yeah, so they get the win again, 7-0 last night, kind of cruise, and then that puts us at tonight. Top 3rd actually, yeah. So 0-0 as Altuve grounds out there, but yeah, like I said, it seems. Yeah, I guess what else can you say? It leads the home run parade. So Harper, was it 2 straight pitches he saw at Citizens Bank Park that he hit a home run on?
Yep.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's just awesome. I mean, he's really making the case for just like overall, again, if not best player, top 3 best player in the league. Like it's insane. Finally getting a chance to do this in October. But yeah, just really great overall. And now again, Philly, they have a chance. They could not go back to Houston now.
Yeah, I mean, definitely this is shocker to say, but with Nola versus Javier, it's going to be a low scoring, close one, going up 3-1. I mean, you saw what happened last year with the Sox. Like it was a pitcher's duel game for that Houston was able to snake out in the end. And
oh my God, that bullpen, yeah, that
killed
the inning that turned everything around, yeah.
Yeah, so that, of course, I'm a little about it last year, especially because I think it's gonna be Verlander Syndergaard tomorrow. I think that's the last I saw. I don't think.
Yeah, that's what I saw. Yeah.
So I mean,
that's true.
One, it could be Verlander, and then, I mean, granted, you'll have. I mean, we saw it happen last time was Wheeler Scrambler. So this is kind of a put your thumb down type of game that.
Yeah.
I can see honestly, I can see this one
the winner of this one winning the rest of the games, whether it's Philly in 5, Houston in 6.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, they'll try to have the edge tomorrow. Houston will with Verlander. You'd think, again, maybe not World Series Verlander, over I wouldn't say an aging Syndergaard, but Verlander's older than him anyways. But again, a struggling as of late Syndergaard. So yeah, I mean, no, that'll be great. So we'll see how tonight goes. Obviously, right? Is it going to be 3-1 or is it going to be 2-2? That'll obviously make a huge difference. And obviously determining if the Phillies can wrap this up here, or if it is going back to Houston for at least 6. So it will be a double Houston Philly matchup on Thursday night, although one here, one in Houston. As we get to Eagles Texans a bit later on. But yeah, again, we're in a good spot here. We'll have we did the pause a bit here just for some personal stuff, but likely we'll have a World Series champion crown next time we're on, one way or another. But yeah, the series has been pretty good so far. Hopefully, you have some more classics in front of us. But yeah, that's it. That kind of sums it up for baseball. Unless you had anything to add there, Mike.
No.
All right. So like I said, we had to pause for a bit, so we still have our Zoom limitations. So we'll hop around to some miscellaneous and we'll kind of save NFL for the back half here. Had a lot of trades and games to recap from last week before getting into our picks, but we'll switch over quickly to college. We have the huge slate this week, which we'll get to. But first, last weekend, just a quick recap. There were a couple of games where a team was maybe hanging around over one of the top teams and pulled away. More so with Penn State, Ohio State actually was close late. But then Ohio State was able to go 2 possessions, then a turnover for a touch.
Florida, as it was
right.
In 2017, but Georgia put
Yeah. So Penn State hung around, but then turnover late, and Ohio State was able to pull away. And like you said, Florida made a little bit of noise, but overall, Georgia held them no problem. And then also saving the SEC, just absolute beatdown by Tennessee against UK, 44-6, and ended up being impressive enough for the people making the rankings because they were number 1 in the newest, or the first rather, CFP rankings of the year. Them being number 1, Ohio State 2, actually jumping UGA. So kind of a reversal of the coaches poll, if you will. I know there was a tie there, but still, I think Clemson rounding out the top 4.
Yeah, I think Georgia was known to start, and they haven't beaten him yet to keep him there. So I don't know, it's always good to see what the committee's thinking around this time of year, even if it's.
Yeah, I could have. If I had it, I'd probably go Georgia, and I'd at least give Tennessee the clear cut number 2. Nothing against Ohio State, but you did have to fight a little bit against Penn State, and this is kind of your cut and dry. I guess the tie, whatever, no big deal. I guess it's a coach or there's points determining, so that's why it was a tie. But either way, 1 versus 2 in that poll, or 1 versus 3 in the other poll. But again, huge matchup coming up this weekend. Georgia, Tennessee, 3:30 this Saturday, and I'm pumped for it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. I definitely think it'll be another close matchup because it's in Georgia, so it'll be pretty good to see how Tennessee plays before against one of the top dogs.
Yeah, pretty big spread, if I'm not mistaken.
It's over
for Georgia. What's that?
It's over a touchdown. So
yeah, for sure. And then the other game, another SEC matchup, Bama LSU at 7. So LSU snuck into the ranking. What's that?
Suddenly a top 10 matchup.
Right? Yeah, LSU's made their way up. So what's that, 6 versus 10? Yeah. At least someone. I know we got multiple polls going on now, but that one's another exciting one that happening potentially at the same time or right before World Series Game 6 if we make it that far. And then just a couple other games to note. We have the other ranked versus ranked matchup: Texas versus Kansas State,
also,
and then Clemson.
Stay in the 20s, but
more
eyeballs will be the one you're going to say next. Clemson, Notre Dame.
Yeah, that's kind of the one that has the biggest headlines on it, right? So thanks, Mike, for throwing that. Thanks for throwing that last one there. But so and then so that's pretty much it. I'm excited for. I know we're kind of limited on time, so keep it pretty straightforward. These games last week, but 2 great ones this week, though I'm sure we'll talk about in much detail next week if they live even remotely up to the hype that we have here. So, but there's just a few other notes. I'll save that last one we have on here, Mike, for the actual end of our actual show. But I'll hit on the first two here. I guess we'll go kind of backwards. Bruins, I didn't get the exact score, but it's kind of following on Twitter last night. They seemed like they were down and came all the way back, right? Against
I think it was 5-2 and we won 6-5.
Yeah, that's awesome. It seems like this team, again, I was at the home opener, but I haven't followed too much, but it seems like they keep having these types of games, and now they're even getting reinforcements back because
Marchand
I know they did. Yeah, he came back earlier than people expected. Now McAvoy's
it's just good to see. I mean, like, it's always so weird how like Cassidy was a good coach and Montgomery was in the round, but somehow just a new face in hockey just seems to do it sometimes. I don't know. It's like, I guess like the Hampus and home deal last year didn't really make the most sense. The fact that we extended him, yeah, it's a lot of money, but we can see he scored the game winner last night. We seem to have more like kind of offensive defensemen, like kind of bigger now. So it's kind of just nice to get some more scoring from the back end. My game one prediction looked pretty good. It was the opening night. I turned it on for, I want to say, 2 minutes, and they scored a goal. And I sent a joke to my friends, like, so we won the cup this year? I don't know. Looking pretty good after 10 games.
Everything I've heard, everything I've seen, yeah. Sounds like they're on that track. Well, obviously, follow them and the other team at the Garden more, I think, once the World Series wraps up here. But speaking of them, and we'll just stick with the NBA in general, this whole situation in Brooklyn. I saw a great tweet the other day. It's like the Nets have a former number one overall pick who can't shoot, and it's like the fourth biggest story that they have. It's like it's insane. A lot going on there. We obviously had the Kyrie news. The latest with Kyrie and the whole controversy there just continues to dig himself a hole. Won't spend too much time on that, but again, just making stupid decisions out there. You know, he has to think about stuff like that. I know Barkley went on last night saying he should be suspended. Just going to say overall, I think all hate speech should have some penalties with it. So not that he didn't really speak it. I know there's some gray area there, but really the bigger story happened yesterday with Steve Nash, I think initially getting reported as being fired and then moving to the mutual parting of ways. I say this all in air quotes.
That was Kendrick Perkins. Said it best.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. Great tweet by Perk. If we're gonna be honest,
I think even the first haters gave him credit there. They
all right. It's so dumb that it's funny. Yeah. But then obviously the big news a few hours later, the whole Udoka situation with the Celtics. Now it looks like he's in line to get this job in Brooklyn, and with no compensation. It's just the whole thing's baffling because it's like, which is it? Is it this heinous crime that warranted this 1-year suspension, or is it not that big of a deal and the Celtics overreacted? Because now I don't know. And the whole thing, it almost makes sense because the Nets situation is such a clown show that let's throw this in here too.
Yeah, for me, I'm like, I think the Nets are just desperate and PR.
It's the last ditch effort to save this.
It's just like, okay, like people already hate us. So might as well just like take a risk here.
He's a good coach. Let's see if it works. Yeah.
And the Celtics are just like, let's get this out of our environment. Let's not have to worry about firing him and have to pay him a settlement or having him sue us. It's just sort of just like, let's just part ways. So
yeah. So that's wild. We'll have to see. Like I said, just a lot of Brooklyn's just. I mean, what are they now? 2-6. So.
Yeah, I lost to Chicago.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Like if either this works and you can salvage it, or if not, just blow the whole thing up. So it's really one or the other. The one thing I will say though, but I know we're coming up on time here for the first half. I wasn't worried about the Celtics at all losing Udoka, but now I'm starting to get a little worried because of the comments we've heard from Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. I don't love it, if we're going to be honest. It has nothing to do with because we've went over like before, like coaching in the NBA probably matters the least of all the 4 major sports, but I don't know. I'm worried that this is getting in their head a bit.
Yeah, I agree. And the defense has to get better. So
yeah, we'll see. I did see tonight before we log off. We were down double digits. Missoula did nothing, and then now we're up 8. So
solid.
he let the boys play. So yeah, I'll wrap up those quick points there, and then we'll be with you on the other half for NFL.
All right. See you guys.